And hi, my name is Quenby Olson. I am the author of The Half-Killed, The Firstborn, the Miss Percy's Guide series, and I am doing a very impromptu short reading from my next short story, hopefully not a novella. We'll see how it goes. Centaur and Sensibility. I'm going to read just a small excerpt, the first few hundred words, so you can get an idea of that. And that will hopefully be finished in the next week. And then after that will become a pre-order incentive for Miss Percy 2, which is Miss Percy's travel guide to Welsh moors and feral dragons. Centaur and Sensibility is an idea that I had. Lord help me, my brain does odd things. So basically, I'm going to give you the gist of it. You have our main character, Mary Clegg, who is the oldest of 4 sisters, and she does not want to marry the man that her family wishes for her to marry, so she leaves home, and in doing so, she meets our hero, who is Mr. Beecham, and he is a centaur. Unfortunately, the excerpt that I will be reading today, we do not get so far as to meet our centaur hero. Just a little bit of backstory for our main character, Mary Clegg. So I will read this and then I will stop, and that will be the end of it. Eustace Haverstick lacked 3 crucial things: wit, charm, and a chin. The third of these was of the greatest importance to Mary, as she could never envision herself as the wife of someone who resembled a fatuous turtle. Of course, it was no good saying as much to her mother when things like dull conversation and disappointing jaws paled in comparison to a fortune of £4,000 a year. £4,000 a year, Mrs. Clegg cried, or muttered, or whispered beneath her breath as one would a secret prayer. Oh, it will be the salvation of us, my dear. Because the Cleggs needed saving. Mary was the eldest of 4 sisters. Her father was the grandson of an earl, and her mother the daughter of a baron. A Scottish baron, yes, but it still counted for something. In the beginning there had been money and there had been comfort, but Mr. Clegg had never done well with things like budgets and fiscal responsibility. What fortune had been theirs was swiftly lost to gambling, favors, and ill-fated speculation in that order. They needed money, and Mr. Haverstick desired a wife from a family with noble antecedents. Successful marriages have been built on less, Mrs. Clegg pointed out, but Mary had no desire to construct the rest of her life on so faulty a foundation. She had not gone so far as to accept Mr. Haverstick's proposal. Despite her mother already planning trips for the purchase of wedding clothes, despite the plight of her younger, equally dowerless sisters should she refuse him, Mary could not bring herself to do it. Now she considered taking her concerns to her mother, to sit and explain that she did not love Mr. Haverstick, that she would never love Mr. Haverstick, that she could not even forage within herself for a modicum of esteem for him, and that if she did marry him, she would no doubt either perish of boredom or hurl herself off the nearest cliff. Unfortunately, she knew that her mother would explain to her that most people of refined society did not marry for such silly, unpredictable things as love, that the most secure and advantageous matches were typically made from fortunes and bloodlines and a desire to conquer France. And so, since Mary knew that speaking to her mother on the matter would be a fruitless endeavor, she packed her bags and ran away. And that's all you get. So that's your little preview of Centaur and Sensibility. Hopefully at some point I will say that and it will not sound so bizarre to my ears. So thank you for listening, and have a very good evening.